Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to another video of Senor Briccacino. I mean, you see what's in front of me. This thing, I don't even know how to describe it. This has to be one of the most unique, interesting brick builds I've ever seen. Um, Welcome to my channel. Hope you all had a good week. If you haven't, maybe you need some Senor Briccacino in your life. And I mean, Lego videos, of course. Thank you all for sticking around. Make sure you continue to like, comment, and stay subscribed to the channel. We got a lot of cool content coming up. But before I get started on this, I have an update on a long-lasting saga that's finally come to an end. In this package right here, I finally have the contents I need to finish my Wild West train. So if you've been following my videos, you know that I was building the Wild West train, another Bricklink Designer set, by the way, in early September. It's been about 2 months, actually. And as I was building, I discovered that I had two of the same bag and one bag missing. I think it was I had two 37s, 36 was missing, the other way around. I have to go back and watch the video. It was either 36 or 37. And so when that happened, I contacted Lego customer service. That was a lot of noise. I contacted Lego customer service and I told them that, I had doubled the bag, and they said they'll send it, but because of what's going on in the world right now, tough political climate globally and locally for us here in US as well. Interesting times. But because of that, there will be delays in the stuff getting to you because it comes from Denmark. It doesn't come from the local factories here in US. So 2 months later, I finally got my bag. I think in the next review I'm gonna finish that train. I think I was just missing the locomotive. I'll get that train across the line, and I'm gonna finish my review and figure out what to do with that train. I know I've kind of been slacking on my Lego City. It needs to be finalized. I have to go back and finish what I started. I have to build a train design. If you have any ideas for a train layout, I know right now my city's kind of a disaster, but I've started to lay out the modular buildings again, so hopefully soon it'll look better. For today's video, after building the great, fantastic antique shop, it was really cool to see the actual designer of the set come watch the video and leave us comment there. It was really nice. It was a surreal moment. So I really appreciate that. So today I want to focus on the Adventure in Transylvania, designed by Sleepless Night. What a name. I would have sleepless nights too if I was living here, because this place is pretty haunted, honestly. This thing has a lot of cool features. So let me go do a review of this, and then we'll find out if it's truly one of those places where you could have sleepless nights, or if you're like some others, maybe you'll be able to sleep fine in there. But let's dig in and do a full detail review of this beautiful Lego Bricklink Designer program set. This thing is so massive that I honestly don't even know where to start. I mean, you see how huge this thing is. Let's talk about the minifigs. So I actually laid out all the minifigs, but actually no, forgetting the tradition. This box is very big, so I won't be able to bring it up. So we're gonna show it like this. This is the Bricklink Designer program set number, what does that say? 910049. So the antique shop was one later than this, 4,056 pieces. I think this retailed around 300 something bucks, 380, 350. Adventure in Transylvania, designed by Sleepless Night. I really thought this was Hotel Transylvania. That's the vibe I got from this. I think that's probably what the inspiration was for this set. But Adventure in Transylvania, we're gonna go by official name. Traditional box. Let's talk about minifigures. So over here we have this lady who looks to be a businesswoman, an entrepreneur. She's wearing a full suit. I don't know why she's exploring here, but it is what it is. And then we have a studious lady. She's studying. She's got a book. And then if we open that book, and I really want to show it, Once Upon a Time. She's reading Once Upon a Time. Of course, a really famous show. A lot of cool characters in there. Let me lock her in place. Okay, she is locked in place. We have a tombstone right there behind this gentleman, RIP AVH. And for some reason, we have an additional tile plate. I think you can replace the tombstone with this. I'm not sure why I have two of these. TC. Maybe I'm missing something. Let me know if you built this and you know what the additional one is for. Then we have this attendant who looks like the guy who works your baggage. We have this little girl with a really nice hairpiece. She's shocked. We have a guy who looks like Sherlock Holmes out there for an exploration. This has to be a mermaid, I want to say. Her torso is very interesting. Her leg piece is really cool. And then over here we have the lady that looks like she's on an adventure with a crossbody bag. Really nice hairpiece too. This guy looks like he just saw a ghost, or he went to the gas station for the first time in 50 years. He looks very shocked. So he has a lantern. He's exploring. Indiana Jones is visiting for some reason here. He's got his little shotgun. And then we have another tiny little girl, another great hairpiece, and cool looking plaid shirt. And the chef with the pumpkin. Don't know what he's gonna do with that pumpkin, but this pumpkin is it's a molded piece, so you don't have to brick build it. So I think it's really cool. And then our final one, this looks like the richest guy in the world. He looks he looks like upper echelon kind of guy. He's wearing fancy attire. He's got that scarf. He's got that big hat across. He's looking like a Lego version of Scrooge McDuck. So all nice and cool. Yeah, so let's talk about the front of this. So you got a sign for the train station. Cool little red pieces representing the Leafs. I mean, look at the decor on the side of the build. It's fantastic. Of course, this gothic looking castle design here is really cool. This is a sticker piece, and then of course the red tiling all the way across. I really enjoy building these things right here. They use a lot of different black elements to come up with that design, so I think it's really cool. And then of course this winding staircase going up is really, really beautiful. And then as I move this thing, trying not to break it, you can kind of see a different angle of this castle, and then you can see this another tombstone right here. You see more of this I was gonna say greenery, but it's red, so we'll call it redery. I don't even know if that's a word, but I guess it's gonna be a word today. You see this beautiful landscape as the winding staircase moves along. Of course, there's an entrance door to go inside. I'm giving you a peek before we actually go inside there. Cool little bat right there. This is a room we're gonna see from the other side. It's like a little tower room on top, and then of course this beautiful little lantern here. Going back down here, you see a little tunnel that goes to the front. More of this, we'll call it greenery for this particular set. I don't know if there's another word for it. And then turning around, look at this thing. I mean, this thing is absolutely beautiful. The Gothic design really gets me. I think it's really cool how these things came together. And of course, I'm going to open up to go inside, so don't worry. I'm just kind of doing a 360 view before I go in. And then this little suspended cabin here is another one of the rooms before we end up on the side here with more Gothic looking windows and more of the greenery down here. So what I want to do now is I want to open this up and talk about the interior detail, because there is a lot of interior detail. So let's get cracking. Of course, I didn't want to break it, so I put my phone down, slightly opened it, and here we go. Voila. This opens up like a dollhouse, and now we see the full interior of this thing. Okay, so let's talk about all the interiors. This is where the front entrance is. You see this little guard sitting right here. You see the window pieces here, and then a tile, plus the ladder going up. There's a cool little candle, and when you go up this ladder, you end up in this room where there's a spider covering a little treasure in there. And I'm not going to show the treasure because I want you to find out on your own. I'm kidding. we could just flip this thing up and you can see the treasure inside. Yep, there's like a treasure chest. There's a coin, a gold coin and everything. It's really cool. The tiling pattern here is awesome too. Let's go back down here. So when you go back down here, I want to show you some of the cool mechanisms you have here. So there's a little knob on the side. And when I twist that knob, you have to look at this floor. The floor opens. And what happens? You fall down into the cellar. So you end up a prisoner in this little thing. Isn't that cool? So essentially just watch this floor go back in place. As I twist the knob the other way, the floor falls back in place. Looks like it wasn't even there. Honestly, it's so cool. I was so fascinated by that. I really like that. So that's the first mechanism. Going down here, there's a little library here. Obviously the entrance to the prison, and there's some books on there. So that's all nice and cool. Let's talk about Exhibit B. And Exhibit B is another cool mechanism. So this little crank right here, when I turn it, this lancer comes down. And then when I turn it back up, the lancer goes back up. I mean, this thing is freaking phenomenal. This lantern too is super beautiful. If I just stay right here, you could appreciate how nice this room looks. So of course we have the big piano right here, the organ piano with the spider there. It's so gorgeous. And the tiling, I really enjoy doing tiling work. Really like how it comes together. There's a staircase going down, right? So that's where it ends. Let's go down the staircase. You go down the staircase, you end up in this room with the tomb. And of course, there's some portraits here. It's, you know, the room with the dead. What we're going to find out is that there's another crank here that does something pretty cool too. Ready? Let me get my hand on the crank. Here we go. Voila. Isn't that awesome? This guy pops up from his tomb. Yeah. This is a dead skeleton, and there's a crank back there. And if I turn the crank back, he's going to go right back down. And he's back in his element. And this thing is supposed to hold on right here. Of course, it popped off for me. I did not secure it well enough, but it's secured now. But yeah, this is a really cool feature. I want to show how it works again. You turn the crank, the guy pops up, and then you turn it back, and he falls back down. Up, down, up, down, up, down. We're just out here torturing the dead. Up, down. Yeah, so that's really cool. Let's get him covered. Let's get him back in his tombstone. Is back where they belong. And let's do one last look around and then close this thing back up. This is a gorgeous castle. And again, I'm trying to be careful to not snap it. So there you have it. This is Adventures Transylvania, although it could pass for a hotel. I hope you enjoyed this, detailed review. A lot of cool hidden builds here, a lot of cool mechanisms that we get to discover. The elements here are beautiful, and I think how this, whole Gothic looking design came together. And, I just want to show this other view again. So like we saw the front, but, this back view really gets me. That looks beautiful. It looks like an old looking, medieval style church. So I think this set has no bad angle, to be honest. I think every angle you look at it, it's just beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please leave a like, leave your comments. I always appreciate, when you leave your comments and, talk about things you like, talk about things you didn't like, and, things you would improve. Always appreciate that. And if you like the content, make sure you stay subscribed. I got a lot of cool stuff coming up. We've surpassed 300 subscribers, so I really appreciate everyone who has been here for the journey so far. You guys are awesome. A lot of supportive people, a lot of great people that I meet along the way. I hope to meet more people as I go along this journey. Let's get to 500 so I could give away some Lego goodies to you guys. So stay subscribed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Take care.